but things are changing.
How has it changed?
Because the people who are in charge of the Transport Commission now
Yeah,
are more
as
open
you're-
to us.
As you're saying, okay.
They, especially after last year's Cafe Campus show,
Okay, cool.
we invited them to the show, and when they went and saw the quality of musicians that were playing in that show, all of a sudden their whole attitude changed toward us.
Yeah.
They realized that, wow, these people are really good.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of really good musicians here.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, well, do you think then that like their perception, their like flawed view of you was kind of reflected the general public's view of the buskers, and has that changed?
I
there
think
still, like,
the
a-
general public's view is changing, you know,
as well,
and
okay.
has been changing very, very gradually
Okay.
over the years, because the more exposure the public has had, the more they're realizing that there are good musicians who are playing in the metro.
Yeah.
You know, occasionally they hit some people who can't play, like I said, who are beggars, who, you know, just grab anything that they can blow on or try to hack on, you know.
Yeah.
But in general, most of the people who play in the metro are reasonably good musicians. you
True.
know.
Okay. So then, the biggest misconception about buskers generally, or like very particularly, what do you think is like the biggest misconception? Yeah.
Is that buskers cannot be good musicians, you know, because they're playing in the metro.
Right.
You know, asking for money, you know, which they're not asking for. They have their case open, and if people are willing, generous enough to give, then they give. You know, if
Yeah.
they like what they hear, you know. So the metro musicians are not begging.
Of course not. No.
They're there. It's the same as if they're giving a performance in a hall.
Yeah.
Except in a hall, you're gonna pay to go and see their performance. The Cafe Campus show that we're doing, you have to pay to go and see that, you know, and it's going to be a Cafe Campus show of metro musicians,
Yeah.
but you still have to pay to go in and see the performance.
Yeah.
You know, in the metro, the public is lucky because they're getting live performance of some very top quality musicians,
Yeah.
and they don't have to pay for it. Nobody
That's
pays
right.
these people.
That's right.
The only thing that is happening is that the musician has his case open for any donations that anybody wishes to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's completely depends on the generosity of the people and if the people like what they hear. So a musician who is going to make is good, and good doesn't only mean being a technically good musician.
No, absolutely not.
It means being able to communicate with your public.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, you know, that's a whole other thing. But anyway.
Yes, but like when you say hears, I mean, there's like also sees. I think like hear and see are almost like conjoined when it comes to like performance in a public space.
Yeah.
So how much do you think like the visual side of your show is key to what people are attracted to?
Well, I'd say
it's-
at least 50 to 60% of my performance is visual.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm on my stilts,
On the stilts, of
and I'm
course.
dancing on my stilts.
Right,
you
but
know.
okay, so then more like
They hear my
generally-
music from far, so they right away they hear me, and so they looking, you know, and then all of a sudden they see this character on stilts,
Yeah.
you know, in this costume, you know, colorful costume, and not only is the person just there on stilts, but they're dancing on stilts
Yeah.
and playing the flute, you know, and communicating with the public at the same time.
Of course.
You know? So all of this, you know, just draws the public right in.
Right,
You
which isn't very common. I think like from the I think most don't really sing very often, or at least like aren't really that engaging with the public. Unfortunately, or like is that
There are a lot of
true for the
musicians
most
who
part?
aren't engaging with the public. I mean, I know some excellent musicians
Yeah.
who are extremely introverted.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Right. Exactly.
they're there with their guitar or with their violin. You know, actually, I think the guitarists or the clarinetists or even flutists are some of the worst for that, because they just go into their shell and they play, and they never lift their head up, never look at the public, never acknowledge the public, never smile, and they never, whenever anybody puts money in their case, they never acknowledge the person, you know. So people just, they hear the music.
Yeah.
They might as well be hearing the music on a radio.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing coming out from that person, except the music. You know.
It's true.
Whereas somebody who's engaging, you know, they are going to put themselves into it. You see the person is into their music, but they're also very aware of the people there. You know, so they're drawing the people in. They're looking at people. They're smiling at the people.
Yeah.
While they're playing their music, you know, and the people are entranced by that. You know.
True, but I think there's like two kind of audiences. Like there's like the ones who will you know, support you because you have like a talent and you're